Hey everybody, welcome to another game of War Machine. I got a battle report here between my Rasheth and my buddy's Haley 2. I was playing Rasheth and xxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxxI decided to go with my anti-control caster with Rasheth. Real quick, down and dirty, my buddy's Haley 2 list has the Squire, Thorn, Stormclad, Gallant, Defender, a Junior running a Hunter, Alten Ashley, and Eiryss 2. So, it's really interesting. He's doing a heavy Jack build. I think Gallant is a great piece, especially Haley 2. She can really turn him up pretty good with all of her abilities. And if you got someone that has a lot of upkeeps, Purgation comes in really handy. Fortunately for me, I'm running Rasheth, Dominar Rasheth of the Skorne Empire, and he's only upkeeps that he cares about really either goes on units or it goes on the enemy models, so it doesn't really matter. But I've got Rasheth here with Tiberion, the Agonizer, Titan Gladiator, Cyclops Brute, a Master Tormentor for some infantry clear, min unit of Beast Handlers and Karax, and then a max unit of Nihilators and Ferox. And if you didn't listen to my other battle reports, I have now started calling the Ferox the cats because it's too confusing with the Karax. So, idea behind this list is there's a lot of anti-control elements with Tiberion saying no control. Dominar Rasheth can cast Castigate and say no arcing or channeling and no animuses for hordes. So that is my anti-control list. And then of course the cats are just awesome. So on to the battle report. I went first, and I won first turn and decided to go first. My opponent put me on this side of the board because he wanted that tasty wall, which is inside the kill box, so he can stand behind it all he wants. And he also has his objective being protected by a forest, which is not a bad spot to be. He is using the fuel cache objective, and I believe I am using stockpile. So turn 1, everything's pretty basic. I do put up Castigate, and then walk up my 4 inches, and everything else runs up. Normally I would probably be running up on my first turn, but with Rasheth, with Thorn and his extreme threat ranges, I didn't want him to be able to arc things and do things I couldn't think about. I think I also put Hollow onto, or not Hollow, Carnivore onto the Nihilators for this game. I did put the Master Tormentor out there on the hill for a reason. He is within not walking threat range of Alten Ashley or Eiryss, but he is within telekinesis and then walk threat range of the two of them. But I did that on purpose because if he wants to put his 2 solos that close to the board, oh, he also has the Gun Mage Captain Adept. I forgot to put that in the list. So he has a Gun Mage Captain Adept as well. But if he wants to put his 2 Merc solos up there to kill my Master Tormentor, I can shield guard one of the shots with the Brute, and then that means he'll have to use the other one, and they will be, even with the reposition 3, close enough to the front lines that I can either run and engage or potentially charge with my infantry, and that is good because getting Alten Ashley off the game, out of the game, is so important. My opponent does go ahead and oblige me with that. We make sure that he is within TK and walk range. He is for both of them. So Haley 2 did go and she TK'd both of the solos, and they both took shots. It did take both of them to kill Alten, and I actually didn't. It took Alten's Alten's shot to kill the Master Tormentor. I wasn't really sure he could even. I mean, he needed like 8 and 8 or something like that to kill, or 8 and 5 to kill, or something like that. So it wasn't a sure bet he was going to kill, but he did. Other than that, the Defender and the Hunter both took shots at Tiberion. Tiberion took a little bit of damage, but not an awful lot, even with his boosts. He had some pretty bad rolls. And then everything else on his turn moved into position. Arc Shield went onto the Stormclad from Junior. Alright, so on to my turn 2. I'm looking at what I want to get done. I know he's going to have his feet turn next turn. So obviously, I really need to get his 2 solos off the board so he doesn't just keep start taking pot shots with Alten to take out whole aspects, basically. So first things first, the Karax get press forward order. One of them is able to charge Alten, but misses his attack. And the one that was able to charge Eiryss missed his attack as well, which is not to be unexpected. I was able to get a charge off on Alten again from Annihilator, and that Annihilator managed to kill him. And a charge off onto Eiryss from Annihilator, and the Annihilator managed to kill her as well. So, Annihilators pulling their weight. Already got 11 points off the board for my opponent, which is great for me. Basically traded my Master Tormentor for his 2 solos, which is not a bad trade. I took 11 points of his for 4 points of mine. I'll do that every day. The kitty cats there, they walked up and one of them pounced into the hunter and was able to do a few points of damage into the hunter and then reposition to be annoying. Engage the defender and the Stormclad and the hunter. And then Tiberion and the Gladiator just kind of walk up into position, and Rasheth walks up and castigate again, because why not? He did arc a Breath of Corruption through the front Annihilator, or one of the front Annihilators, one of the unengaged ones, to kill off the Gun Mage Captain Adept, which is why I forgot that he was in the list. And then the Agonizer went up and did his Agony, which is just -2 strength to all enemy models within 8 inches, and that is fantastic, giving Tiberion armor 23, so that's good. Against melee at least. Alright, so, sorry about that, folks, I'm a little tired, just got off work. Let's see, on my opponent's turn, this is going to be a Haley feat turn, which can be very, very painful for Skorne. I mean, it's painful for everybody, but the Hunter goes first and actually manages, or fails to kill the kitty cat here in a second. Sorry, he's doing some measuring. Making sure that he can get everything he wants done, and there goes his, I believe it was Haley taking a gunshot to kill a Karax. Or, no, that was Junior killing a Karax. The defender walked up and failed to kill the cat with his hammer. It's good for me. And then the hunter went up and also failed to kill the cat. So that cat is being annoying, which is what he's supposed to do. Defense 13, I guess, helps. And my opponent did have some especially bad dice. This will be Haley going, so she's going to go ahead and shoot a guy, TK up the Stormclad, and also temporally accelerate the Stormclad, pop her feet right there, and then on to Gallant, who just walks up and he clears the space for the Stormclad to be able to move in. And Stormclad's asking about Tiberion's stats, walks up to him, doesn't even have to charge, gets a free strike from Annihilator but doesn't do any damage to him, and starts beating on Tiberion. So he's doing a couple attacks. He got his initial sword, he got his Temp Excel sword, and then he bought 3 attacks and failed to kill Tiberion. He's hitting at dice off 4, so he did have some pretty bad dice. Although honestly, that's only 15 damage if not boosting, so I guess it's to be expected. You kind of expect a Stormclad to be able to kill Tiberion, but it's really nice when he doesn't. That means Tiberion's actually going to be able to hit him next turn, even on Haley's feet turn. And then up top, you saw Thorn move up to contest the flag because I had put the Brute on the flag last turn in case he didn't get anything over there to contest. Alright, so all my beast handlers are unfortunately inside his feet, except for one. But that one's going to be able to go up and enrage Tiberion, which is good. At this point, I am just debating whether or not I should pop my feet. Obviously, you see right there, I do. And then Rasheth heals Tiberion for a couple points of damage, and heals the Agonizer for a couple points of damage. Cast Castigate again to shut down Thorn still, because Thorn is just too dangerous to be able to allow to run free. Does put a blood mark out onto Stormclad from one of the unengaged Nihilators. And then I believe I'm sitting on 1 Fury at this point. So right now you just see Tiberion, he is wailing on the Stormclad and leaves him with 1 box. which fortunately for me, one of the Nihilators was in range and was able to take out that last box. So Stormclad is off the table, and another Nihilator took a swing at a Hunter and was able to do like 7 or 8 points of damage to the Hunter, which was good for me. And then that's pretty much it for my turn. All else that's going to happen is the Agonizer is going to move up and put up his Agony, because that's for free. No, I mean, he's forced to do it, but he doesn't have to do a combat action to do it. And that's it for my turn. So you'll notice there's no scoring yet, but if you look at the clock up top, I went first and I have 3 minutes left on my 3 minutes more on my clock than my opponent does. So a secondary win condition, in case this game turns into a slogfest, is actually I'm going to try to be doing my turns much faster in an attempt to go for that clock. My opponent is taking a lot of time to think, which is not an unusual thing for a Haley 2 player. There's a lot of things that she can do, so you have to kind of decide what exactly you want her to do. But at this point, I am preparing for the long game just in case. That was Gallant going, and... Oh, sorry, not Gallant. That was Haley going, and she temporally accelerated Gallant and shot off a couple of the dudes. That was hemming up him. She loaded him up with Fury, so he's got his full stack now. And then debating whether or not to take a shot at Tiberion with the Defender or not. Ends up going ahead and shooting him, but only doing, doing no damage on dice off 6, I believe. Thorn's going to go up and he's going to stab a couple people. A couple of the kitties cats. Manages to kill one of them, I believe. After doing a couple boosts. There goes one cat down. Yeah, so Thorn walks up and is able to kill one of the cats off. So I'm down to just 2 of my original 5. And then Gallant's going to move in here. He is debating whether or not to charge the Agonizer or not, to see if he can get a charge into the Agonizer, or if he should just charge Tiberion directly. With the Agonizer there, Tiberion's armor 25 against Gallant, which is not good. I believe Gallant is a power 17. So he decides to go ahead and charge the Agonizer, and rolls double 1s to hit, so he ends up failing to hit his charge attack. The temp accelerated shot does manage to kill him, but then he's only got 3 swings at dice off, I believe 7 or 6 on Tiberion, which is hard, and ends up leaving him with quite a few boxes left. I think he left him with 3 or 4 boxes when that was over with. So that was the end of his turn, and my feat definitely saved Tiberion. Tibbers, for the most part, he is definitely around a lot longer than I thought he would be. After taking a Hunter shot, a Defender shot, a Stormclad, and a Gallant, both fully loaded with Temp Excel, only getting 1 round of healing from the Beast Handlers the round prior to Haley's feat. I did not expect him to still be around. Speaking of Beast Handlers healing, there goes another round of Beast Handlers healing. I do 3 heals on Tiberion, giving him back another 6 or 7 hit points, which is good for me. And then I'm trying to decide how I can get this done. So I know I'm going to score on the bottom flag this turn, because I'm going to get my Karax up there. There's still 3 of them left. There was only 6 to begin with, so they can score. That'll give me 1 control point. I'm going to see if I can kill Thorn this turn, and if I can, that'll get me up to 2 control points. But first, I've got to deal with Gallant. So that was all. Tiberion was wailing on the proxy base, which was Gallant, and on his last attack, I decided to take the crit smite, critted him into a Ferox cat, not killing the cat, thankfully, but unfortunately not killing Gallant either. Which means I only had 1 cat that could attack Thorn, because I was going to use the second one to attempt to kill Gallant. He has to sacrifice action or movement, but it's fine, he can just sacrifice his movement. But both of them failed to kill them. Both of them failed to kill their targets, so it's up to my beasts. The Brute walks up and he starts attacking Thorn and ends up leaving Thorn on like 9 hit points, I believe. And unfortunately, Gladiator cannot get into melee range of both Thorn and Gallant, so I decided to take out the bigger threat and just finish off Gallant to leave him with just the Defender. a Hunter, and Thorn. And I've still got a fully healthy Gladiator, a mostly healthy Brute, and a hang on to bare life Tiberion. So I'm going to go up to 1 control point here. It'll be 1-0 Skorne. And we're on to Haley's turn. Once again, you see that I'm still up on the clock. I got about 6 minutes more than my opponent does, which is good for me. I mean, I went first and I'm gaining 3 minutes a turn. That means that clock is going to become an issue for him in a turn or two. So this game is looking like it's going to be dragging out. He doesn't have a lot of guys left, but the guys he has left have a lot of hit points. The Hunter is barely damaged and the Defender is not damaged at all. Haley hasn't been touched, so he still has Arcane Shield available to him from Junior. So there's a lot going on. Haley's never out of a game until the game's over. I've seen her take out Colossals by herself if necessary. It's hard to do, but it's possible. So Junior manages to kill one of the Karax off to prevent me from scoring with them next turn, because now there's only 2 out of the 6 left. The Hunter actually ended up charging into Tiberion and doing no damage to Tiberion. That was a fully loaded Hunter, so good for me. And then Thorn went up, and Thorn, I believe, fails to kill, or actually, no, Thorn ended up killing both of the remaining cats. So I'm out of Ferox. I've got 2 Karax left, 4 Beast Handlers, sorry, and my 3 Beasts. The Defender then moves in. He charges up to Tiberion, manages to kill Tiberion and one of my remaining Beast Handlers, and there will be no points scored this turn. He is contesting both flags. I cannot control the bottom flag, and we're staying at 1-0. But it is looking pretty good. I've got to kill a Hunter, a Defender, and a Thorn, and then it's just him and the Junior that are left. And fortunately for me, Thorn has only got 7 or 8 boxes left. So the Brute gets enraged and manages to knock out Thorn, and then the Karax charged into the Hunter. The Hunter actually got the spell Blood Mark from Rasheth, and they both ended up missing their attacks on the Hunter, which sucked. So instead, the Gladiator rushes himself, walks over to the Defender and starts beating on the Defender, puts a couple gauntlets into him, attempts to get a Tusk into the Hunter, does a little bit of damage, buys his last attack and kills off the Defender. So now my opponent has a Hunter that is badly damaged but still has his gun arm, Junior, and herself. Let's see what happens. See if he can pull something out of this rabbit hole. And once again, I am now up by 10 minutes on my turn. So I went 3, 6, and now 10. So I'm gaining quite a bit of time as we go on here. My opponent is attempting to see if he can TK the Gladiator and his Defender, or sorry, and his Hunter, to free up the Hunter and get a shot into something. The proxy base actually is Haley, so she goes up and she does do that. She TKs both the Defender, or sorry, the Hunter and the Gladiator, kills off one of the Karax with her gunshot, and then TKs herself backwards to safety to keep herself out of the Gladiator's threat range. And then the Hunter is just going to walk over, make sure he contests the flag, and take a shot at one of my Beast Handlers, actually. Manages to kill a Beast Handler. So now I'm down to 2 Beast Handlers, which means they can no longer control flags either. This game is going forever. Just for anyone keeping count, this is turn 5. Oh, sorry, turn 6. Yes. And it is 2-0 Skorne, and this is turn 6. So, had some Fury issues. The Gladiator did not Frenzy, thankfully, but he had a Fury left on him. So he rushed himself and then trampled over... Sorry, he did not have a Fury left on him. He trampled over to the Squire, bought boosted to hit the attack and failed to kill the Squire. He did have a Fury left on him. And then I decided to just go nuts, I guess, become an idiot, and I dumbly ran Rasheth to attempt to dominate the flag, putting him into threat range of Haley. So he had 4 Fury on him, so I felt pretty safe about that, but I can only transfer to the Brute. Junior went up and attempted to shoot Rasheth, but shield guarded that to the Brute. And then Haley went and she started doing a bunch of attacks. She spent all of her stack and left Rasheth on 2 boxes. You look at my card down there, Rasheth has got 2 boxes left. So this is basically do or die. I don't think I can withstand another round of attacks from Haley. Unless I just camp everything, I guess. And the Gladiator has a spot left, but then I just kill off my Gladiator. So first up, the Pain Giver Beast Handlers are gonna... One is going to enrage the Brute, and the other one is going to attempt to attack Haley in the back arc. Actually ends up hitting Haley and does 2 points of damage. Woo! And then the Brute goes up, he walks up to her and starts beating on her. And with all 3 Fury, ends up leaving her with just a couple points. I believe he actually left her with 2 points of damage, which is just sad. So I'm going to spend a couple minutes here trying to see if the Gladiator can actually get into range of Haley. Put some proxy bases, decide that he cannot get in there because it's 1-inch reach. But he is within within rush and walk range of the Brute. So he walks up, rushes himself, walks up to the Brute, does the power attack throw, boosts a hit, throws it at Haley, hits Haley, and kills her. So this is going to be a victory to Skorne. Yeah, but it was a very good game. My opponent couldn't believe that I ran Rasheth up when I didn't have to. The second after I did it, I knew I had messed up, and I couldn't believe I had done it either. So, but this is going to be a Skorne victory. All I had to do was keep him back, and I would have won a lot easier and would not been nearly as much of a nail biter as it was. He left me on like 2 hit points with all my transfers and a shield guard. So that was a risky proposition. But anyway, I believe I am liking Rasheth and Zadesh as a pair. The 2 of them really complement each other. Zadesh does not like to see a whole lot of control. So if you're going up against a TK caster, or if you're going up against a caster with a feat similar to Haley's, where you just can't do anything on that turn, on your turn, sorry, then that really hurts Zadesh's game, I think. But Rasheth can handle that. Rasheth has a lot of ability to handle that, especially with a balanced list like I have. I was running Rasheth in a beast heavy list, but I think he likes having a balanced list with troops and beasts, doing a little mix of those. I'm not gonna say what he doesn't like to handle, but I can tell you that he covers Zadesh's bad matchups, I believe, and Zadesh covers everything I don't consider a control caster. So I think this is going to be my pair. The list might tweak a little bit, but if you see a lot more Zadesh and Rasheth games coming for me, that's because they're going to be my pair for the LVO. I have to get a lot more thought to that, probably because Mordekar is going to be on ADR, but I just don't know if I can utilize ADR well enough to make it matter. I think Rasheth is better into control casters than Mordekar is. But I'd love to hear you guys' thoughts on this, and hey, it might all change in like a month, so who knows? We will see. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Definitely comment. Apparently that's how we get like rated these days now, I guess, for YouTube. I don't know. Anyway, thanks guys. Hope to see you at the Las Vegas Open, and if I don't, I will catch you next week. Have a good one.